my name is Philip Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. This is my third review of Marvelman, Miracleman, depends how you want to call it. I was always trying to, for a while, I was really trying to call it Marvelman, even though they had to call it Miracleman in the 90s when they tried to continue it. But then, shortly thereafter, the creators said, "What's the name? Doesn't really matter. Marvelman, Miracleman." So I guess whatever you want to call it, it's been 20 odd years now that they changed the name. So yeah, I guess it's stuck. I guess it's going to stick. This is the third volume. It's by Alan Moore and John Totleben. Freaking gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, massive change in art style from volumes 1 and 2. We're going to be talking about all of that in quite some detail. Before we get there though, can I ask you guys, can you hit that like button? That will be fantastic. Can you hit the share button? Can you hit the share button? That will be also very, very nice. But mostly, can I ask you guys, can you do me the solid? Can you do me the wonderful thing of hitting that subscribe button? Thank you very much. I am absolutely pathetically and insanely grateful for everybody who subscribes. Now listen, there is a phenomenon of there are some crazy people out there who have been watching me like a hawk. They scan my videos for every second to find little things they can pull out and they can post on the twats and go, "Oh, look what a bad boy the Rabbi is," because they are stupid little children who don't know up from that. Doesn't really matter. I love you guys. Mwah! I love you guys, but you want to subscribe. Because you don't want to miss any of the heresies I'm going to say. I might say that gender isn't fluid for everybody, right? I might say that. That could happen. So, you want to subscribe. You want to subscribe to be the first on the first on the tweet to be outraged about that. But let's say you're not one of the insane people. You're not one of the insane people in the world. You want to subscribe as well. I want you to subscribe. You want to subscribe. Why do you want to subscribe? Well, other than making a rabbi ridiculously happy, you can enter my weekly competitions. The prize this week is the fantastic Doctor Who story, The Robots of Death. I'm holding it up. I'm just literally holding it up and going, and my brain was going, "Oh my God, what story is this? What?" Okay, fine. Robots of Death. Freaking awesome story. Terrible cover. Look at that cover. It's awful. Absolutely awful. That's why you get my own cover with it. Actually, I might not design this. This might be by somebody I got off the internet who did a bunch of them, and then I took the design and just used it for all of it. This is the cover I use, which is so much nicer. So much nicer. So you get both. So what you have to do to win to win this DVD? You have to three things. Firstly, subscribe to the channel, and all your dreams will be realized and come true. Maybe not, but maybe. You never know your luck. That's the first thing. Secondly, go to the comments below, and you will see there's a hashtag. All the instructions you need on how to win it are in the comments. You'll see there's a hashtag. The hashtag this week is Taran Capel. Take that hashtag, copy and paste it, put that into the comments on this video, and you are entered to win this DVD. Prize draw is on Sunday, I'm going to say the 25th. October 25th. Sunday, October 25th. So yeah, and then we're going to pick out a whole new prize, and we'll just rinse and repeat. It's a new prize every week. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Another person I did thank you is Alan Moore and John Totleben for this freaking awesome book. So before we get into it, a little bit of background to it. Miracleman started, what was it? I'm guessing 84 is my guess. Around the early part of the 80s. It was in a magazine called Warrior in black and white. It was gorgeous. That magazine was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it. And the artwork in the initial run was by Gary Leach and Alan Davis. It redefined the superhero genre much more than Watchmen, much more than Swamp Thing. This is the book that got Alan Moore those jobs. They brought him to America, and it's absolutely wonderful. You have Mike Moran, who is Marvelman. He has forgotten his secret identity and he remembers it, and he's married, and he's got a very kind of dour everyday life, and then he finds out he's a superhero, and then his whole perception of reality is inverse when he finds out that all his memories were a lie. It's a cover story so he can understand how he has these insane abilities. That's the end of book 1. Book 2, you go into where these insane abilities came from, and his major villain in the 50s, when he was basically it was a rip-off knockoff of Captain Marvel, I think. It was Dr. Emil Gargunza. So Gargunza's a real person. He's still the villain, and he's a government scientist who headed up a research team that got this technology to make a super being from a crashed alien vessel, right? Crashed alien vessel, and so towards the in book 2, the Marvel Man has a baby. He fathers a child with his wife. That child also has insane abilities, and the aliens that the crashed spaceship came from come a looking. That's how the book ends up. Gargunza's gone. He's dead. There are other super beings, but they're also gone. One is now catatonic in a nursing home. That's going to be a major plot point in book 3. So book 3 is a major change in art style. See, what happened was book 1, as I said, was by Gary Leach and Alan Davis. Absolutely freaking awesome. Just absolutely wonderful artwork. Book 2 was mostly by Alan Davis. Again, some of his strongest. It was earliest his work, some of his strongest work. Really fantastic stuff. But then Marvel Comics sued Warrior over the use of the word Marvel Man, and they stopped publication. And a very bad part of it. So years later, it was in the early to mid 90s. I think Eclipse Comics got the rights to it, and they started continuing it. The artwork really jarred horribly. You can really see where they changed art. It was Paul Galassi is how he was credited, but he goes by another name now. I cannot remember his name. Not a terrible artist at all, but the lettering wasn't very good. But the changing styles I found very jarring. And then they brought in who was it? Rick Veitch for an episode for an issue, and John Ridgway. Listen. The quality of writing carries it through. The quality of writing absolutely carries it through and makes it a compelling read. But it's not like that complete seamless art style. So for book 3, they John Totleben took over the art, and it's got a very different look and feel to it because it very much matches John Tolleben's art style. So the whole story now is told in retrospect because when Alan Moore originally wrote it, he wrote it, in how do you say it? Not in the first person, not in retrospect, as it's happening. In fact, and they did a episode from book 3, like a 6-page part from book 3. At the beginning of the run, right? Which is they refer to it here, but you can see this has been rewritten by Alan Moore because he's grown considerably in the 10-15 years that he originally wrote it. So it's got this very verbose writing style, which he kind of developed in Swamp Thing. This is where it reaches its pinnacle. So this is a very dense read, and normally I hate that. I can't stand that in comics at all. I hate it being like having to trudge through a page of so much. But Alan Moore is just such an incredible professional, just an incredible writer. He's able to make it work. He's able to make this prose work. And this is essentially where he leaves this style. He abandons this heavy prose style now. And when he goes off and does other things from Hell, Big Numbers, I think was the next thing he did after this, which never got completed. But you can see the just the way the pages are broken down are very different. This is a much more American art style than it is the British art style that they got. The layout of the page is not formulaic as it was in they basically stuck to that 9-panel grid quite a lot in the first 2 books, and now that you see that 9-panel grid is a thing of the past. But it's just, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. It's I honestly think it's John Tolleben's best work. It's much more stylized. It's much less photorealistic than we've been used to. And we see the story continues. What's been happening is one of his there were 3 super beings created. There was Marvel Man or Miracle Man, young Miracle Man, and Kid Miracle Man as part of this government experiment, and they just realized these things were incredibly powerful. They could destroy the world, so they decided to destroy them using a nuclear bomb that they had. Didn't really work. It took out young Marvel Man. It made Marvel Man or Miracle Man lose his memories, so he didn't know who he was. And Kid Miracle Man was just fine. He pretended he wasn't. He was just fine. So he stayed a super being and grew older, and he never became like super villains until Miracle Man, Marvel Man showed up. At the end of which point, he'd aged like 20 years. So now he was in like his mid 30s. He accidentally said his trigger word that turned him back into his human form, which was a little boy now, and he was catatonic. But he and so throughout book 2, we've had like the evil Kid Miracle Man and Johnny Bates, inside his head, this catatonic head, having this like battle of wills, and the Johnny Bates, the kid version of himself, eventually says, listen, I'm not going to stay catatonic. I'm going to start speaking. I'm going to show you how you have no power over me, which is apparently exactly what he wanted to do, because now he's with other kids and he's in the mid-80s and it's not the 50s anymore and people aren't very nice, and that's going to be an ongoing plot thread. Meanwhile, the aliens that from the crash ship that the technology came from to create these super beings have showed up, and they have this body changing science which really comes to the fore in this episode. And again, this is stuff I really like about John Totleben's artwork. This the alienness of it. The aliens are very alien, but he's working off a fantastic script by Alan Moore. So there's this really great scene where he's being pummeled to death by these aliens. He thinks he's invulnerable, but he finds out he isn't. And then one of his last thoughts as he's about to die, he thinks of his daughter, right? He thinks of his daughter, and which alerts them that they're like, oh my gosh, this hybrid has offspring, and they need to go and deal with that as well. They try and deal with their contamination to this world. So they go to deal with the daughter, but then and it looks like it's curtains. It looks like it's curtains. Then Miracle Woman shows up and stops them. And so now we have a whole nother interesting plot point going on. By the way, it doesn't matter, and I'm spoiling this thoroughly. It doesn't matter at all. This is a book you have to read if you love comics. Now, the other reason to get this book is the extras in it are just gorgeous. Each issue. Yeah, I'm going to show you the collector's edition. Collector's edition is here, and it has all of the stuff in it. Each issue has this page upon page of this ancillary stuff. So this is the cover they did for the Clips edition. You have all this like rough artwork, just incredible stuff. First thing for me, this is the stuff I really love in a comic. I love seeing this. So although I can't believe that these were these roughs. He didn't ink these straight away, because these look pretty inkable to me. But then again, I guess John Totleben has higher standards than me. So then the story continues, and we get into Miracle Woman. And again, the whole thing is told from with this very verbose, really quite wonderful prose, as Miracle Man is looking back from some undescribed future and describing the events that led up to this. So he's in this incredible palace, so this otherworldly palace, and you have no idea what's really going on. Over here, you have people. There seems to be lots and lots of porn going on all these screens, because they're trying for people to better donate sperm. I think it's a better word for looking. Better need to donate sperm for these strange eugenic banks. Again, we are going to find out about later as it goes on. So the narrative continues. You have these aliens coming to deal with Marvel Man, and Miracle Woman shows up. So this issue is essentially the secret origin of Miracle Woman. And again, Totleben's artwork just fantastic, because he really nails this 1950s style, right? Where as they talk about it all through flashback, it's really just lovely stuff. These pages, I really do enjoy it, and it's fascinating to hear this parallel story that's going on. So what essentially happened is, where they had government funding for these 3 super beings. So just like with any black ops or operation, they took the budget and secretly made an extra 2 super beings as well, Miracle Woman and Young Nasty Man. So basically the story you have is Miracle Woman was escaped with young nasty man, and they fought it out. So this was the whole thing going on. Meanwhile, the main story, which you don't really realize, is happening with Johnny Bates, Kid Miracleman, as he sees he's being introduced to the thugs in the orphanage that he's living in. He's getting the crap beaten out of him, and we see his let me zoom in a little bit, because inside his inside his head, we see his young self and his old self taunting each other, right? And you zoom out, is inside his eye. And he basically young kid Marvel Man right now knows that all he has to do is wait, and he's going to say the magic word to bring him out once again, and terrible things will ensue. So again, just look at this, just gorgeous making of stuff that all the way through it. And I'm surprised that they had John Totleben did the covers for this. I thought he was retired. I thought he was retired by the time this came out. This was 2014, 2015. And honestly, they've done Neil Gaiman's first volume. I think that came out in 2016, 2017. Well, yeah, they're supposed to continue it. I don't know. It's been years and years. What's going on? So this part opens up with one of my favorite bits of prose ever, when he's created this android, right, that only speaks in zeros and ones, only speaks in binary. It talks about how this automaton has just creates new language as they evolve. Yeah, he talks about they just created the word for nostalgia, right? Which is a great way of bringing this in, because again, look at these page layouts. He uses the 2-page grid, 2 pages very, very, very heavily in this, and again, just works fantastic. Completely broken away from that 9-panel grid that was pretty much defining it. So in the plot, Miracle Man, Marvel Woman has been discovered to be sentient, and they've and as they've spawned, as they've had superpowered offspring, they've now being entered into intelligence space. So this completely changes the political dynamics of the universe, right? And so we have a quick look in at Johnny Bates again, and again, look, he spends much of this volume waiting to get the crap beaten out of him, and much worse we're going to come to. This page I just love. It's when they teleport from the Quai's homeworld, the aliens' homeworld, back to Earth, right? So everything was incredible, super colorful, super powered, this hyper reality, and then the coloring is just fantastic, because he goes back into normal world, normal life, and you see everything's a little bit more muted, right? A little bit more ordinary. And again, I just love that very, very clever attention to detail. Miracle Man's wife, Mike Moran's wife, just can't cope with this. It's too to say. She goes and stays with her mother, again, that's the end of the chapter. Just look at this incredible pencil. I can't believe he didn't just go ahead and ink these pages. These are incredible roughs he's doing. Did he maybe he used a sheet of tracing paper and inked the tracing paper? I really don't know. So now we're getting into one of the most famous parts of it. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is where you see the Miracle Man family grow quite a lot before they reach their first genuine and world-defining, universe-defining crisis. So this is a kind of a flash forward of the next few years. They create this satellite in orbit to monitor this new world. And so basically you've got this very good superhero-y setup where you have a team of super friends working together. It just happens very organic. You got Marvel Man, Marvel Woman. You got 2 Waltzmiths, which are 1 power block, and you got a representative of the Quais, which is the other power block. So the reason the spaceship crashed in the first place is it picked up this thing called a fire drake. A fire drake is a genetic abnormality that's often created in races where they can just spontaneously generate fire, and so they're these incredibly powerful super beings. Mike Moran's life, his life kind of just falls apart over this time. His wife leaves him permanently. His daughter, Winter, says, listen, yeah, there's not much more you can do. You don't really know much, right? I'm going to go and fly off and try and find the aliens. If light speed is breakable, I'm going to, if light speed is attainable, I think I can get there in about a year or so. So now he's left completely alone. And essentially, he ends up killing himself. Like Mike Moran decides to just turn into Marvel Man and never change back. So somebody who did that many years earlier was young Miracleman, and it's the most how can I say it? One of the most disturbing scenes in comics I've ever written, where the thugs that are bullying him want to take it up a notch, and they go on for a full like a full on bullsaw rape scene, which is what goes on here, which is basically enough that Brony Bates can't take it anymore. He says his magic name, turning back into a Kid Marvel Man, knowing that he will do terrible things, and that's exactly what happens. He goes to leave, and he has this like one. Again, we go back to the 9-panel grid here, which is, I think, Alan Moore's one of the strongest storytelling devices that he uses. Which I'm just going to go through with you, just to show you how well it works. So she goes to she hears the bathroom. She hears people crying in the bathroom to see what's going on, and she sees superpowered mayhem has gone down. And Kid Marvel Man's there, and he's like, "Yeah, you're the only one who was ever nice to me." So he just goes and walks off. He's like, "Oh my God, thank God!" Then he comes back. He does come back and says, "Yeah, I'm sorry. They'll say I was going soft, wasn't I?" And then boom, blast her head off, and he's free. He's free. Kid Marvel Man is free to wreak havoc and terrible things on the world, which is what happens in Chapter 5. Before we get there, though, let's have a look at the making of it. Again, this package is just one of the greatest packages in comics that ever been put together. It's just really tragic that Alan Moore had been so alienated by this time that he didn't want anything to do with it. I would love to hear his commentary on it. Although, I think real burning great artists like that prefer to look forward than look backwards. So this is the issue that became like impossible to find on eBay. You just couldn't get this for love nor money. Kid Marvel Man was out, and whatever you heard about it, it's better than you think. So you see like the insanity that's gone down as he escaped. You see, let me just zoom in. You see, like a whole family has been skinned and just hung on the line. Imagine somebody with unlimited power and a bit of a chip on his shoulder being free into the world. So yeah, this episode called Nemesis, where it talks about he spent hours in London torturing people in the most insane way humanly imaginable. And the person imagining it is Alan Moore, who's got a bit of a wacky imagination. That is for sure. So this issue is essentially one of the best superhero fights ever. It was Marvel Man, the Walt Smiths, and Marvel Woman and Fire versus Kid Marvel Man. And this is the chapter that they told in way back in like the second or third month of the story. They just flash forward to this, and so the way they deal with that is rather than reprinting it in its entirety, because it will just totally jar. It will totally jar. It's mentioned here as one of the different possible things that could have happened in the story that has fallen into myth now. And the story just goes on. By the way, I just want to draw attention to Totleben's use of circles, which he uses just so well in this book. But yeah, I love all this like dark horror stuff he's got going on here as they battle with Kid Marvel Man, and it's a very believable and real battle. So much so, look at this attention to detail here. He's throwing a truck right at Marvel Man, and there's a guy freaking in the window going like that's crazy. And I guarantee you, Alan Moore wrote that in the script, right? when they go sequential, it is freaking incredible. Just look at this page where he attacks one of the Walksmiths. It's this incredible savagery that they're able to completely sell. Artwork is about selling a story, and it sells the story. Essentially, at the end of this, he's able to get the man to change back in. He changes back in. His pants are still down from being raped. This has not been a good day. And as soon as he changed back, he crushed his head, which again becomes a plot point over in book 4, the Neil Gaiman first book. So then we got the last issue, and this is really great because this takes the story and it really makes it complete. It finishes the whole story. You get a beginning, middle, and end, and it actually says something interesting, says something real, which you get so rarely in comics. So this is in the aftermath, where this is the post London destroyed world, where superheroes and aliens have all been revealed, and it involves a complete change of society. They get rid of you can kind of see at this point. I think this is where his eyesight might have been going. They get rid of the nuclear weapons. They heal the planet. They get rid of money. They become like a money-free society, which the way Alan Moore puts it in this page over here sounds pretty darn good. It sounds pretty darn good. I'm of the opinion that capitalism, while not being perfect, isn't so bad. This system that Alan Moore lays out, if we could all be good enough to do it, I think would be even better. And so they talk about how they change the world, they rebuild the world, they reshape the world. Miracleman, Miracle Woman get together. Very, very good sex scene. to put it mildly. More superpower people join, and it turns the world into this incredible, superhero-y world that Alan Moore grew up in. Reading these incredible comic books. The only person who really can never cope with it is his former wife. It talks about how his and I believe something's going to happen with his wife if we ever get the final 2 books from Neil Gaiman, which I don't understand why on earth we do not have them. But if anybody out there knows, please let me know. And it just kind of ends on a real genuine ending. And you just don't really see that often in comics. And it pulls out and pulls out and pulls out and pulls out and gives you this look at this incredible palace, this remade London. And again, it ends with prose. This prose has been very good. So the last bit is a page of prose is saying, sometimes I wonder about this, sometimes I wonder about that. Sometimes would I with this, maybe this, and it goes. Last line is, and sometimes I just wonder. Absolutely fantastic work. Again, recommended very, very highly. The book also has a backup strip by Grant Morrison, which isn't bad at all, and a backup strip from Miracleman family from the 50s. Listen, a fantastic package, a fantastic book, third fantastic volume, finishing off a complete, volume 1, 2, and 3. I just recommend these to the end of the earth. I think I'm going to be reviewing Neil Gaiman's first book, volume 4, next, rather than moving on to other, Alan Moore stuff. Listen, if you like comics, if you like good storytelling, if you like thinking, if you like doing something different and interesting, if you like seeing something that's an absolute pure classic, you cannot go wrong with these volumes. I love them to bits. They're fantastic. Go out, if you don't have them, go out and buy them for yourself today. My name is Sheila Beckin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.